Building is like eating out at a restaurant. And let me make it make sense. You will never have Salt Bae, okay, really quality beef at a drive-thru, okay? To make it make sense, in order to build your credit, there's a tier system that you have to follow. And the main purpose of this video is for people out there that are being bamboozled, lied to, okay? But most people are talking about, they'll get these trade lines on their account and they'll get primaries, which is illegal to get a primary on somebody's account, okay? Trade lines are fine. Authorized user accounts, been popular, been out there for years. Made videos talking about how they just don't work anymore. It's not worth the money that you spend in order to get an authorized users. Instead of you spending $2,000, $2,500 to get an authorized user to report it in your file for a certain period of time, go get a secured credit card. It just makes sense. Primaries is a new thing going on right now. Well, somebody will get a fully paid off account or a fully reported account where you have considered the individual responsible party on there that is not a real account. I don't even know how they do this. And I've had vendors reach out to me to extend this product to my clients, and I just run away, and that's what you should too, is run away fast. There are a very structured process to build credit, and you gotta follow this fine line. There's no cheating, there's no way around it, and the best way I can explain it to people is, again, the tiered system that you have with restaurants. And to make it make sense, okay? I kind of wrote it down, okay? So first off, there's tier 1, which is your fast food, what I call your starter cards. These are credit cards like Credit One, First Premier Bank. You got some of your starter accounts where you can make certain payments and then report on your credit. All these stupid widgets that are out there. There's a ton of them out there, okay? People that, credit building cards, softwares, secured credit cards. All of these stuff are designed to help you. They're the first tier, Premier card, Credit One, they're literally, there's no really benefits. You're not getting points out of these cards. The interest rate is ridiculously high, but they're the beginning. They're your McDonald's, they're your Burger Kings, they're your Wendy's. These are the startup cards, when you're talking about the tier and the restaurant analogy that I'm trying to put on here. Then you move into your second tier cards. This is the mid-level cards. In the restaurant world, we're talking about Applebee's, we're talking about, Fridays, we're talking about, some of these mid-level restaurants, that you kind of tend to it to. They're not so high class yet, but they're right there in the middle. Maybe the food is cooked better. Maybe it doesn't have so many preservatives. I don't know. They're not McDonald's. And from the credit card sense, we're talking about Capital One. We're talking about Citi. Maybe we're talking about some Chase cards out there. Not all the Chase cards, but some Chase cards out there. Maybe we're talking about the cards at your local bank. Or at your local credit union. These are the mid-level banks that you need to target when you're in the middle level phase after you've done the crawling with some of those BS cards, as I call it, okay? And then you have the fine dining, the top of the line cards. This is where we move into, Amex, Bank of America Platinum cards, some charge cards. You got the Amex, the silver one that they come up with. These are the high class cards. This is where you get into the Ruby Tuesdays. This is where you get to Salt Bae, the guy with the little salt on the steak. You're never gonna get Salt Bae at the drive-thru, okay? Meaning that you're not gonna get $50,000 to $100,000 in approved funding after getting these starter cards. I'm talking to you, specifically you watching this video. You thought, because you saw some ad on YouTube or somewhere on Facebook, and somebody told you 700 plus credit score, get 150 to 250,000 in 0% financing. That doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And I'm here to help you not waste your time. I'm here to help you not go to jail by getting these fake primaries on your credit report, and you're gonna get arrested for submitting applications with these fake primaries. I'm here to help you understand, because as we always say in Parenting Consulting Group, okay, shameless plug, but I gotta put it in. Parenting Consulting Group, we help small business owners start, grow, or even expand their current businesses. And as you always say, our goal is to help you reach your goal, okay? So, my goal is to help you reach your goal. My goal is to make sure that you don't get arrested. My goal is for you not to waste your time. My goal is not for you not to get bamboozled into paying some kind of coaching program, some school community that's gonna teach you how to get $50,000 to $150,000 in a couple of days because they got the play. There is no plays, okay? There's just a slow, tiered process on how to build this, and it doesn't have to be slow. You can get to a position where you can qualify for $50,000 to $100,000, but If you're starting from scratch, you're looking at a minimum of 6 months. That's just the reality of the situation. If you're starting from somebody that has had some bruises on your credit, that you need to fix the negative items first before you can actually start reestablishing your credit so you can start going to McDonald's and Burger King and all this other stuff, then that's just what you need to do, okay? All this CPN game that people do, all this trickery, I'm telling you, you're wasting your time. Building credit that's the best analogy that I can put it to you, and it just has to start. You gotta crawl before you walk. There's no way you can come out the door just running sprints like Usain Bolt. That doesn't, think about it, if it was a baby just coming out the womb, just running like Usain Bolt, that's unreal. Same thing with your credit, okay? Be humble with yourself. Understand the 5 things that affect your credit score. There's gonna be videos here that I teach you about that. Understand that you have to clean the negative item. Start with the starter cards, move into the mid-tier cards, and then move on to those perfect cards. And this requires really good, excellent history. And I always say this, I pose this question to every one of my clients that always comes and wants 50 to 150,000 in unsecured credit. I always say, look at yourself. And if you walked into the bank where you were the CEO, would you lend you $50 to $150,000 in unsecured credit line? And if the answer is no, then you need to fix that before you think you can qualify for this type of funding. I appreciate you for joining me today. Again, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff, and I'll see you on our next one.